Welcome to the Economic Liberation of Africa podcast. In this video, we will share a few video clips produced by Greater Diversity News of comments made by ADDI members at an expo festival held at Howard University a few months ago. The final clip is of none other than the Honorable Arikana Kwa, former African Union ambassador to the United States. This video is a part of our growing coverage of Africa's century-old struggle for economic justice. If you find value in what we're doing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave comments on our content so that we can respond to the issues that are important to you.
2, 1. I'm Tony Greer, and I'm with the Greater Diversity News, and we're here at the ADDI Festival in Washington, D.C. at Howard University. I have a young man who has attended part of the events so far, and just wanted to have a chance to speak with you. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
So my name is Angelo Sherti Mwembia. And
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, Angelo Sherti Mwembia. Born in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Been in the US for about 33 years. Spent half of my life in America and North Carolina.
What part of North Carolina?
Raleigh and Charlotte, North Carolina. Now is more San Antonio and Austin, Texas. So that's where I reside. So I'm the chair of ADDI Austin, San Antonio, Texas.
Very good. And we have a short amount of time left, but I'd like to know what was one of the main takeaways you had from the speech for Dr. Arikana so far.
Oh, the takeaway. Who did that? The takeaway was basically when she spoke about what took place in those meetings in Africa, where we had a lot of foreigners coming into our meetings where they're not supposed to. So that's something that we need to be on the lookout for most of the time, is to be discreet and to work on a way that we can surprise. That's the strategy, the key to strategy. I'm a strategist, so you always have to get your adversary to kind of have a delay on getting the information. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure talking with you, and good luck to you. And let's what did she say? Viva
Africa. Viva Africa.
Excellent.
Here we go at the Mecca. Thomas Harrison here for the ADDI conference, and we are interviewing a couple of people that attended today. So wanted to find out how everything went. Can you take wow. Can you take an opportunity to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Joan William Mbengbakia. I'm the chapter chair of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, chapter chair of Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. And what brought you out to DC today for this particular African Fest?
I actually became a member this year, and that was early this year, February. And I started the chapter in Cleveland in March. And right now we have 21 members. And I'm interested about what the Excellence is doing. I'm interested about the ADD vision and mission. I'm interested about the return to Africa and African investment. I'm interested about everything that has to do with our continent, because I'm one person that is so passionate about going back home and investing back home. I'm so passionate about whatever that I'm trying to build here. I believe that more should be done back home. So I'm here to learn from her. I'm here to see. This is the first time I had to meet her one on one. We've always been having virtual meetings, but coming here today is the best thing that ever happened. And I was so happy because I had to sit there with her and listen her talk, and her passion that she has about taking African back to Africa and helping us develop our own continent is my greatest joy about this conference today.
Okay. Where in the continent are you from?
I'm from Cameroon.
Cameroon. And what brought you to the United States?
Um, I've been here for about 7 years, and I'll tell you because of the difficulties back at home. So I actually came over here to study, and I finished studying, and I decided to stay back here and work, and so I can help the people back home.
Okay. As we speak about what's your African and American relations, and especially business, what are some of the ideas that you think about for investing in Africa?
I believe so much about education, and even as I'm here, I help a lot of my people in Cameroon. I run a foundation that helps to sponsor children in the university and high school students. So I'm so passionate about education, and one thing that I'm trying to get people to go and invest in my own hometown, Cameroon. I'm from Manu. We are trying to have the first university in Manfred division because we don't have any in my division, and that has been one of my project that I've been working so hard to make sure that I have people that will follow me to my country, follow me to my division, and help me invest in education by bringing higher institution in my own hometown.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you.
DI conference here with our special guest. Introduce yourself.
Brian Lamont Roberts. My stage name is normally Brian Lamont.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what brought you out today to attend?
Well, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm actually a member of ADDI Las Vegas as well as ADDI.org or org.
Okay. Earlier while we were talking, you told me about some of the accomplishments of your wife. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so I can't mention my wife without telling you who I am. I'm actually the promoter that promoted my wife to that level. We're from Louisville, Kentucky originally. She won an NAACP Image Award along with 38 other film awards, 61 nominations for Remember Me, the Mahalia Jackson story on Hulu. That's actually my retirement money. So we executive produced that movie, my brother.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. All right. So what are you getting from the conference today? What's some of your favorite parts?
Woo! So you called it the Mecca, right?
Yes.
Let me give you a little history. So my grandma would be 125 this year.
Wow.
September 21st. So I am the actual great grandchild of slaves on both sides. So you're looking at the hope of the slave. So what she actually did for me, her oldest son, my uncle, was actually a U.S. ambassador to Sierra Leone. So around 16, I was supposed to be here at Howard, but we didn't have enough money. He passes away. So when you call this a Mecca, I'm actually at the Mecca for my family in Howard, my brother. And my cousin is Chancellor of Morgan State. He was mentored by that same uncle.
Okay.
So what I got from this was actually the beauty of what I saw in my family, because we have Sierra Leonean family too. Yes, sir.
That is incredible. Thank you for coming out and meeting with us. 3 minutes? I don't know what 3 minutes is. Keep going for 3 minutes. Okay. Well, all right. Okay. So you attended the woman's speech. You heard the mother speak to us all day. What were some of the favorite parts of her speech?
Well, before I say that, bro, how does a lion hunt?
I don't know.
Come on, he doesn't. The females hunt.
Okay.
And so if a male lion wants to hunt, what he does is 4 or 5 females coordinate and they go hunting, which is the same thing my wife and I did. And so what I got out of that was everything that we're already doing. I have an office in Accra, Ghana right now. I didn't ask to get that office in Accra. And the gentleman who actually runs the office in Accra is actually from Delaware.
Okay.
So I've had Ghanaians ask me, yo, how did you gain trust in Ghana? And that's really what the mother talked about, how we got to trust one another. And it doesn't matter what country we're from because, basically I got my Sierra Leonean roots, right? But I'm also Yoruba.
Okay.
which actually means I'm Nigerian,
Yeah,
right?
my roommate in college.
Come
was
on. But
Nigerian.
grandma was half Choctaw,
Okay.
which basically says we are in this together. So it's like we got about a minute here, sir. So
Okay.
let's make it fast.
All right. So we talked about doing business from Africa to America, Americans coming back and returning,
Yes.
especially with the year of return that happened in Ghana not too long ago.
Yes.
So what was the impetus of your business, and plug your business in Ghana?
Okay, our business in Ghana. What if I told you we actually have a call center that we're working on currently? What if I told you that we actually build websites and applications? So the benefit to an American is to actually have that less expensive route to doing business. Now, what used to cost you thousands of dollars will now only cost you hundreds of dollars. And that's the benefit, my friend. I come from finance, so it's all in the math.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you.
sir. Blessings. My man.
I'm Tony Greer, and I'm representing Greater Diversity News. As you can see my t-shirt. And what we're doing is we're covering Dr. Arikana's visit to the United States. She represents an organization called ADDI, African Diaspora Development Institute, I think. But anyway, she's trying to encourage people to the diaspora to represent, to invest, to be more involved in Africa, which is where we've obviously originated from. Are there any things that you're involved in right now that prepare you to be more of a participant in such an endeavor?
Well, right now I'm taking Intro to African American Studies with Dr. Carr, so he always has a lot of good things to say. Shout out to him. I also took African American Studies 2 last year, but it's not actually African American history. It's about Africa. Like, it's not really necessarily history because, all our history is wrong, as you know. So I just learned a lot of good stuff there that I wouldn't, think of automatically just because of, we live in America and there's so much going on that distracts us from real life. But being in that class just helps give me a really good perspective on the African American diaspora and on a lot of issues that go on within the African American community.
Excellent. That I don't think there is a better springboard than taking African studies classes.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
especially at the real HU.
The real HU. I love it.
Yes.
Well, it's been great speaking with you. Hopefully we can keep you attached to Greater Diversity News. We may do a spotlight. You may be on some kind of national news here. You may blow up and become famous. Anyway, it's been great talking with you, and
it's been great
good luck in
talking to
school.
you. Thank you so much.
3, 2, 1.
Thomas Harrison here reporting for Greater Diversity News at HU, the Mecca, here for the ADDI conference, and we have a special guest with us today. Introduce yourself.
I am State Representative Naquita Ricks from Colorado.
Woo! Go Buffs. Yes. So, what brings you to the ADDI conference? You were obviously on stage, you spoke, you gave us great, great speeches, everything like that. So tell us a little bit more about your participation in the movement.
So ADDI, I represent the Colorado chapter of ADDI. I'm also the president and founder of the African Chamber of Commerce in Colorado.
Ooh, okay.
So I have so many connections to bringing trade and investments between Africa and America, blah, blah, blah. Not just Colorado, but the world.
Right.
And so it's a great honor to be here today supporting this event, because it is important that we as diasporans, blacks from all over the world, going back to Africa and developing and making Africa the Africa that we want to see. So it's going to take me, it's going to take you,
Yes.
it's going to take all of you here. So, yeah.
So speaking of that, right, as a Black diasporan who is looking for opportunities to invest back into the continent, what are some of the major ways that you see that we can do that?
There's so many ways. I think by partnering with people that are on the ground, of course, doing your due diligence to make sure that when you make that investment, it's not going to be going down the drain. You have to find trustworthy individuals who have integrity in what they're going to do. But there are so many areas that are opportunities. Tourism is a big thing. For example, in Liberia, where I'm from, we have over 260 miles of coastline. So beautiful beaches everywhere. We have lakes and we have, some mountains, we have forests, we have so many things. Tourism, digital economy, solar energy power or renewable green energy power, infrastructure, developing roads, technology. There's so many opportunities and they abound on the continent.
Okay, so I heard you say you were from Liberia. Were you born on the continent? And
yes.
What brought you to America?
So what brought me here was a military coup in 1980 when the army overthrew the government. My mom's fiance was shot by firing squad, and it was through that trauma that my family immigrated here to the United States. And so I grew up in Colorado. I've been there for the past 40 years, and now I serve as a state legislature there in Colorado.
Wow.
Charles Taylor, yes, I know Charles Taylor.
So tell me about your state legislating work that you're doing in Colorado, some of the initiatives that you're...
So I've been serving now for 3 years, and I've worked on things like immigration, towing, home ownership. I also work on credit, medical debt, and I've been able to have a voice and bring marginal voices and underserved communities to the Capitol, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Okay. Thank you very much for all that you do. It was lovely to have you speaking to you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Thomas Harrison here at the Mecca HU. Some would say the real HU. Here for the ADDI conference. We have a special guest here today. Would you introduce yourself?
My name is Dr. Remy Duyele, and I am a professor at an HBCU, not HU.
Okay.
And I'm a serial entrepreneur, formerly a vice president with Bank of America for 17 years of my younger days. So that's who I am.
Okay, that is incredible. Okay, you are involved with ADDI. Tell us how and what capacity.
Absolutely. ADDI is synonymous with my favorite mentor, sister, leader, Mama Africa, Arikana Chihomborikwa. When she first came to Washington in a former role, I was the chair of the Pan-African Diaspora Women Association, a chapter of what she created to enable her to work and engage with the community when she got to be the position of ambassador. So after that, ADDI came. It's a continuity. It's a movement to be able to ensure that we all get a voice listened to and do what we're supposed to do as diasporans, as Africans, to ensure that we are at the table and we understand the issues that is relevant to Africa.
So how are Black women, especially in your purview, making the connection back from America to Africa, bringing the diaspora and Africa closer?
Yeah, of course, I'm a Nigerian American. I was born in Nigeria and been here for 40 years. Despite the fact that I do go back and forth. So what I have been doing and what my group has been doing is engaging our Black and brown brothers and sisters who are here, who were here before, who paved the way for us to be here, to interest them with Africa and opportunities that are in Africa, just like conferences like this where we're connecting, I'm meeting your company for the first time. So that's what we're doing, just opening up and educating men and women of African descent that Africa is ready for them right now. And it's time to go home and make impact. When I say go home, you don't have to physically go home. You can send your money on errand. You can invest back home.
With your tremendous career, being in the banking industry and now being a professor, what are some of the opportunities that you see that are great for Black Americans in the diaspora to take back and take advantage of in the continent?
Sure. Academia is huge. Once a teacher, a professor is a professor, we can engage and see how we can teach those youthful population that Africa has. And we could take our experience that way. We don't have to do it physically immediately. We can do virtual ways of engaging, sharing knowledge, teaching, and paying it forward and leveraging these young men and women who are quite smart to the core, that all they need is that exposure and that experiential learning. So we can create experiential learning opportunities for this young African community to be able to take advantage of it. And for those who are small businesses, you can invest in small businesses in various African nations that won't cost you a whole lot, because all it would take for some businesses are not the same as the other. So as Black and brown people, looking at how do we partner with the small businesses with maybe a very small investment, and see how that capital can yield us better results than we can put it to use here in America.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good to meet you, sir.
She has put out the call. There is a program that's very symbolic. Now we have plenty of time to plan for this. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we can have thousands and thousands of us show up? That's how we let them know that the game is over. When we can have thousands of us showing up in Senegal, and that's a very symbolic country, and that door of return. So take some time, start putting your money aside. I know if you send me the invitation, my sister, I'll be here. It's that commitment that we often don't have. I remember attending an event in Washington, D.C. here. It was a Jewish event. I tell you, I've never seen so many Jews, I don't want to. You know, even walking, you had to just shuffle. Because they support each other. They support each other. I attended another event, it was the Irish Americans. In 1 hour, they raised 5 million. In 1 hour. The place was jam-packed. Because they believe in each other. I attended a wedding, an Indian wedding. The parents were my patients, so their children were getting married. I got there a little bit late, I'm not kidding you guys. I could only go almost 5 blocks away. The place was jam-packed with Indians. So I remember talking to one of my friends, a doctor. He was also back of the 5 block. We couldn't even go to see the bride and groom. She says, no, it's a commitment. We all have to show up. Any one of them, the children getting married, it's a personal commitment. You have to go. Even if you don't even see the bride and groom because they're so far away out there, but you got to show up and you got to leave something on the table. Personal commitment. We don't have that in our community. We're too busy thinking, oh, you know, I'm Nigerian, oh, I'm from Louisiana, oh, I'm African American, oh, I'm Afro-Latino. I'm black, like my sister said. When they see you crossing the street, they say, who pastor? They say, black woman pastor. They don't say a black woman who was born in Senegal and his father is from Nigeria. No, there's a black woman. If they're going to shoot a black person, they will shoot a black person. Because that's who we are first. So that level of commitment, personal commitment to anything to do with us, show up. There's an event, show up. But we don't do that. That rule of divide and conquer is alive and well. Let's show our sisters some love. Let's all meet in Senegal and close that door, and we close it with a bang. And then open the other one wide open, because we are all going to be coming home. Thank you, my sister.
I think the economic liberation is a subject that's hardly ever discussed. Let's be clear. When the African countries were given their independence between the late 50s and the early 60s, one thing that was denied Africans was economic liberation to this day. And until we get our economic liberation, nothing, and I mean nothing we do, is going to improve our circumstances. For us to get our economic liberation back, this moment is calling for unity of purpose. That unity of purpose is only going to be reached when we get that awareness, that moment of clarity and understanding of who we are as a people, and the forces that are working behind the scenes to make sure that we as Black people are kept where they want us to be. We as Black people will continue to be workers and never really enjoy our true economic potential.
Africa, the richest continent on earth, must get her economic liberation back. To do so, the children of Africa must unite and first and foremost understand what they have and wake up to the realization that you are the mothers and fathers of humanity. And Africa must once again lead the way. Let's unite as children of Africa, and our economic liberation is a must. We must fight for it through unity of purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you very much.
Well, can we get one photo up of the panelists right here with them?
So with that being said, again, if you like what we're talking about, if you appreciate what we're talking about, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, sign our notification bell, and leave some comments. We want to know what you think, what you suggest, because what we're doing is we're setting out to economically liberate Africa and Africans in the diaspora. And with that being said, I'm going to conclude this session and invite all back for our next session. Thank you so much.